Honorable Minister, Housing and Water, Regional Director of Operations of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Senior Management, most importantly, you, the residents of Lethem and surrounding communities, and of course the beneficiaries of today's events. On the count of 3.
To be obedient to laws of the land, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity of everyone.
Thank you. It's an exciting day for everyone here, and I thank you because you seem to have been here for a little while. I'd now like to invite His Worship, the Mayor. Please join me in welcoming him.
Honorable Minister, Regional Chairman, and my good friend at the head table, I just missed his name. The staff of the Ministry of Housing, media, residents of Lethem. It is indeed a pleasure for me to stand here this morning to welcome all of you. Occasion. I know this occasion will mean a lot to many, many people here. And having a home is one of the most important. I'm very happy to see the turnout here. It tells me you is certain of receiving your land here today. I know many of you because I get numerous calls, numerous visits to my office inquiring. And I want to thank the Minister and his team for carrying out this activity here today. Right? It shows the commitment and like I said earlier, it's a dream that everyone looks forward to. And I am happy today that dream. I don't want to keep you waiting longer because I know you're
Mr. Mayor, thank you. By way of introduction, my name is Bishram Kupen. I'm the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Water. All right, at this point in time, please join me in welcoming who will give some brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Mr. Colin Crewell, Minister of Housing, His Worship the Mayor, John Mastido, members of the Housing residents of Lethem and surrounding communities, a very good morning to you. And today marked another day of good things coming to those who waited years. So he's here this morning. However, what our government is doing is providing sustainable, affordable housing for Guyanese. $6 billion was allotted to the Ministry of Housing. And policies efficiently creating sustainable and affordable house lots and homes for all Guyanese. The government has earmarked in 2025, reinforcing its commitment to providing sustainable housing for all Guyanese, allocating over 40,000 house lots across all income categories and constructing more. The government has been leading the upliftment of Guyanese through its massive home ownership drive nationwide. In 2020, the PPPC administration committed to fast-tracking home ownership after realizing there was a slot in the delivery of house lots in the preceding 5 years. As such, a plan was crafted and a promise given to distribute a mammoth 50,000 house lots to Guyanese from 2020 to 2025. Already distributed, we distributed 4,161 house lots, bringing the total number of while the government is on track to delivering the promised 50,000 2025, it has assumed another project of constructing homes. Even a household with low income can afford to purchase one of these. Advancing, in Region 9 is currently undergoing significant infrastructure changes. Infrastructure works are in progress at the new housing development, Central Housing and Planning Track 1, Pork Bridge, where approximately 5 a number of homes have been completed in the new Culver City housing scheme under the Lethem housing represents another commitment to provide affordable homes for Guyanese. And surrounding communities. It runs approximately 550 square feet and in sanitary facility. Each home is constructed at a cost of $3 million, of which $1 also partnered with the New Building Society, Republic Bank Guyana Limited, and the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry to offer loans to the tune of $2 million at a rate of 3% owners. Furthermore, contracts to So far, there are 37 completed homes which was handed over, 31 under construction, 90% completed, and 24 homes completed and keys to be handed over. Let the progress continue. Thank you all, and God bless you, and enjoy the remainder of the day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for very informative, brief remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to tell you that the number quoted there is a bit higher in the accomplishment of house lots that we have delivered so far, but our Honorable Minister will speak more on that. We're close to 42,000 actually, right now, of the promise that was made, the commitment made for 50,000 house lots and beyond. To get us to this point that we're at here, it takes a lot of work. Many Guyanese are not aware of the extent of development that we have going on in this country so that we can make lands available for the citizens who have applied so far. Those who have had the opportunity to see drone shots, you would see that there are massive developments that are taking place. And all of that work is being done by the Central Housing and Planning Authority. The officers who you see around here in blue, they work extremely hard to get us to this point here. And it's not only this area, it's the entire country that we have development that is going on. So please join me in giving them a big round of applause for the hard work that they are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the leadership at the head of the ministry, it's very important in order for these programs to be executed. And you would have seen our Minister, Honorable Colin Crowell, all across the country. 1 minute he's in Region 1, the next he's in Region 6, Region 5, all over the country. And it is there to ensure, he goes there to ensure that these programs are taking place on the time frame that is supposed to take place. So all of the people within the ministry itself, the Ministry of Housing and Water and the Central Housing and Planning Authority, we're totally committed because His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, our President, has tasked and mandated us to make sure that we ensure that all of our citizens who have applied for house lots, they get the house lots, and those who have applied for the houses, that the houses are constructed in time. At this point in time, please join with me and give a warm welcome to Honorable Minister Colin Crowell, who will address you now. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our Permanent Secretary. Lethem, good morning. All right, except my brother at the back. The rest of you feeling like the weather. So let's go again. Lethem, good morning. Good morning. Better. Thank you very much. Let's acknowledge you, our chairperson for today, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Bishram Kupen. And joining us at the head table also we have the regional chairman, Mr. Brian Alicock. And then I also want to recognize the Mayor, His Worship, Mr. John Macedo. I think the Deputy Mayor is somewhere around. I also want to recognize the staff of Central Housing and Planning Authority. Today's program being led by Mrs. Dennis King Tudor, Director of Operations, and our entire team, and as said before, in their dark blue jerseys, so you can easily identify the staff, members of the media, but we are not the important people today. You are the important people today who are about to become beneficiaries or allottees as a result of our allocation exercise today, as well as a number of you who will be able to receive your certificate of title as part of our complete home ownership to ensure that persons have their document and their security of tenure. Regional chairman gave an account, or well, he was reading from an article, but as PS said, things are happening so quickly. And it's happening so quickly because that's how the People's Progressive Party civic government under President Dr. Mohamed Irfanali works. Because our mandate here as a government is to ensure that as quickly as possible we are able to work together to ensure that your lives are made better, that we are able to uplift your communities, and also, equally important, to ensure that the path is cleared as quickly as possible to make the future for this and the other generations to come much brighter. And so, under the housing sector, you would have seen us coming repeatedly. And that is why sometimes I don't know how to respond when you go to, we're in Region 9, by the time probably something is posted on the social media, you'll see a comment that says, when are you coming to Region 6? When are you coming to Region 5? When are you coming to Region 4? I go to our next region, you in Region 9 will say, when are you coming to Region 9? But if you follow our program and our mandate takes us to all the regions. And that's what we have committed. And we have therefore committed, when we came to you, we sought your mandate, and we said to you that as part of our manifesto commitment, we will ensure that we have 10,000, this is what it stated in the manifesto, 10,000 house lots allocated annually. And so when we say 50,000, that's how we got 50,000, because it's 10 by 5. That's our manifesto commitment. Today, as I start, our allocations in total under this 4.5 years in government is 42,931, which means we are leaving here today, we're crossing over the 43,000 mark as part of our allocations for all 10 regions. But our work does not stop there. Because if you would listen to our president, and then you also have listened to the budget speech of 2025 this year, this is the 5th year, there first of all was a commitment of fulfilling 25,000 allocations in this current year. So if we start the year around 40,000, what does that tell you? That tells you that we intend to go way past our intended target. And in that, the commitment is therefore that we will be able, or we will have available by July of this year, all the regions except Region 4, we will have available on offer lands that can be made available for allocation exercises to clear the entire backlog for Regions 1 to 10 except Region 4 up to December 31st, 2024. Regions 9 pending applicants. So if you go into our system, our pending applicants here in Region 9 is around 1,000. No doubt they may have some persons who have migrated over the years, some persons probably right in Guyana but at different regions. But that's what our system shows. And so today, we are commencing 2 new areas. And you recall, we had started an area. As you enter Lethem, you see there's a big billboard there. And it speaks towards Track A development. And your common name for that area is what? Pole Bridge. So today, we have an extension of that area And we will also be commencing another phase right here within Lethem, and that is the new Culvert City. Therefore, on these two locations, we have up to 600 lots available for which we have prepared for today. We have prepared for approximately 350 allocations to be done. And if more persons come today, then we will be able to do much more. We have up to 600, as I said. So here's an opportunity, because now we don't have to confine ourselves and have to turn away anyone. The criteria, therefore, is that once you are a pending applicant as of December 31st, 2024. What does that mean? For the young man that is sitting right in front here, he still has his baby face. We couldn't speak about him getting a lot or owning a home at a young age. We could not speak about that in the past, because even Chairman highlighted, because of the limited availability, and because even lack of effort. Because let me make this point. On the new Pogue Bridge, on the Pogue Bridge allocations, we have allocated over 650 lots there. The last government, in their allocations, under 400 allocations was done in the last government. And today I'm committing to you, we have another 6. So if you have all those persons, we have at least 1,300 lots available to clear everybody. That means, as I continue the point, young people used to say, oh, I'm going to get gray before I can get a lot. Or sometimes when they come to the office, they say, I'll have to start walking with stick or wheelchair before I'll see when I'll get my lot. Now, if you're even 23 and you're here in this region, you'll be having the opportunity to get your allocation and to own your own home, because the banks also have been responsive. They've been working as a result of the policies and initiatives we have put in place. So the mortgage lending rate has come down. And it's for the low-income bracket, it has reduced as much as close to 3%, moving from 6 point something on average to 3 on point something on average. Now, hereby giving an opportunity to aspire, in many cases, to even start your family very early, because you have that space, you have that environment, you have that comfortable area that you can call your own. That's the difference we're making under the People's Progressive Party civic government. And equally important with that is to ensure that we are able to sign so that persons can quickly have their ownership. So it starts with an agreement of sale, as well as the process for your certificate of title, and obviously we come back and allocate those. So it therefore means, for a number of persons who have already been allocated in the Pogue Bridge area or the Track A area, you are yet to sign. And for those persons who have paid 50% and above, you can be able to sign for your agreement of sale immediately. The cost for your lot, let me make this other point. The cost for your lot that you are paying today is highly subsidized. You are not paying the true value of your land, because your government is subsidizing that cost. It therefore means that another investment we are making as part of the home ownership is the infrastructure work. Here in Region 9, to date, over $1.4 billion have been invested under the housing sector for here within Lethem, that has seen first phase infrastructure for the very area where you have access, for those who have been allocated already, as well as the older areas as such as Tampachinga, Culvert City, etc. That's the Lethem program. But Region 9 housing program does not stop there. We also have, as part of the Hinterland program, another 120 houses that for various villages have been involved in, one, wherever possible to supply the blocks, because we're trying to ensure that we support village economies. The wood or the timber that comes from the various communities to supply for the rafter, etc. And if you look right behind me, you have some have been stockpiled. The hardware suppliers are from your region. So we have been careful to ensure that it is a purely Region 9 implementation program. So to date, we have handed over about 70 of those 120 houses. And over the next month or two, the other 50 will be handed over. So on those programs, on the hinterland houses for Region 9, we have invested to date over $285 million. And let's come closer here now. Regional Chairman would have outlined to you a program that was announced right here by His Excellency the President. And that is the subsidy program that sees a collaboration by your government and the beneficiaries. So what does that mean? To the value of $3 million, where $1 million is being supported by your government, and your contribution being $2 million, we have a number of houses that have already been completed and handed over. So in fact, it's the first 100 we commenced our program on, of which over 65 have been handed over, and even today another 11 will be handed over. And within the next month, the additional amount to reach 100. But I use this opportunity to say now, another 60 beneficiaries will be allotted by the end of today for us to commence the construction of a next phase, which will now bring to total 160 under the Lethem subsidy program. So far to date, on this program, we have invested over $365 million. But just as I bring the good news, I also want to bring some negativity. I said to you, the initiative is intended to not only for the beneficiaries, but it is also to support your village economies. There are some communities that in the past that supplied the clay blocks. And I know we have withstand that pressure where persons have said to us, just go right across the bridge and you can get the very blocks. But that's not what the model is intended. It is intended to support here in our region. But we have contracts that have been signed in Shia, Shulinab. In Shia's case, we have not received any of the blocks yet. There again, their village, it's a village that used to supply blocks. In the case of Shulinab, no delivery to date. Here again is an economic opportunity for villages that has the clay type that allows you to make those blocks. And they are seasonal too, because based on the weather pattern, you can't necessarily make the blocks because you will not have the heat to be able to have them dried. So I'm making this call, Chairman, to ask, and many of you are from the villages too, to ask that many of the village councils also look at how can they maximize in management tool, we call it core competency, but in simple language, maximize on their strength to have a revenue earner for the village. So here's an opportunity for you to work to ensure that is done. The housing program across the length and breadth of our country is one of the key pillars of ensuring that our people, our citizens, our residents are comfortable and that you are feeling part of the developmental process to ensure that you have that area of your own and that you can leave when you leave this earth that you have for the next generations so that their security of tenure is already laid for them and your children. So the participation in the housing program comes with it investments not on the infrastructure side that has not you only as the beneficiaries, but for those who are involved in the construction phase, because it's families that are also earning. And therefore, we want to encourage as much persons to build as soon as you have access. And so before you leave today, when you're receiving that letter as which a chairman alluded to, you will be receiving another letter attached that gives a commitment from your government that you will have access to your land that you are being allocated today before the end of 2025, before this year is finished. Do you know why? Because we have already tendered for the infrastructure work to be done in these areas. And I'm making this call, I see the media is here. I'm repeating this. We are also making that commitment for the other allocation exercises that will be done in various parts of our country. But for persons, some persons who may be waiting for their dream land, sometimes many times persons are offered. A lot of the old applicants, it's not that they were never offered. A lot of time that they were offered, but they probably were waiting for their dream location. We don't have that luxury. We have competing interests for land use. And more particularly here within the Lethem location, for which the commercial activities will even expand and boom. So you have to come on stream the expansion of our airstrip here to be converted into a regional airstrip that therefore will see much more movement between countries or within the region. You therefore will have that opportunity too. For the young people that are coming up, you will have that opportunity for employment. Because here, we have also already, you would have seen the president came as part of our priority for other sectors. In healthcare, we've committed a new regional hospital. And already the services that are provided here, when I go to the other regions, what I'm about to see, well, I hope they don't block me from coming in, right? I think in the hinterland regions, the Lethem health care that is provided is one of the best for all of the 4 regions. And so that speaks to our investment to ensure that your livelihood is taken care of and that you can live longer in that home that you're going to be about to build. So with that, please maximize on the usage of access to the banks that you have within your region that are happy to engage you. Get as much information as possible. So when you have access, don't try to then start getting information when you are called by us to see your land or to access your land. Start getting up your information early. So you will know beforehand in your planning, based on your ability, how much you can be able to borrow, or if you have to have co-applicants, how much support you will need to do the extensive work that you may want for that dream house for yourself. Start the information gathering now. And similarly, just like how we've been investing in your health care and a number of new initiatives this year that have commenced. So you had starting last year the voucher program for eye care for both the elderly and the children, whereby we're providing a voucher for those when you're tested who may require spectacle, or in some case you call that for your own benefit. Similarly, we have introduced this year a universal health voucher that says everyone can benefit, and you can redeem that voucher at even private health institutions for testing that you may require or any health services you may require, even outside of what is provided by the state. Likewise, for the females that are here, and I've been saying this more particularly for the hinterland, we have this little fear factor of checking up on our health. We don't want to go do routine tests. We don't want to do periodic checks. For you, the females, we have been encouraging you. We put the incentive programs in place for you to have testing for cervical cancer. It is an understated or underestimated cause or detriment to livelihood for the females. For the children, your children, therefore, will have, by the time you be accessing your land, your children will have access to one of the 5 new secondary schools that are being built right here in region number 9 to ensure that we have universal secondary education. So we no longer will have to depend for the central location of the St. Ignatius Secondary School. Therefore, with all of that and the connectivity, we would like to see you and your children making use much more of our scholarship programs, the goal initiatives, and similarly, for the University of Guyana, which will expect it to be even before the refined or attuned in keeping with our strategic priorities for our country. Your children can go on to University of Guyana at what? At what cost? Free of any tuition. You didn't have that. Many of you had to drop out of school. In fact, if you were most likely the eldest, you had to make the sacrifice for the rest. And the problem, like for me, who was the last child, I was shielded by my elders too. So we didn't have to do the work like the elders do, right? So these children will not know about fetching water before you go to school. You had to do that. And in some cases still have to do that. As a result, here in Region 9, in keeping with our overall program to ensure 100% access to potable water, in the hinterland, we have spent over $5.5 billion. This year, another $2.1 billion for the water sector. Region 9 here, 4.5 years ago, access to potable water, Chairman, by the villages was only at under 60%. Today, as I speak, access to potable water in Region 9 is at 95%. And this year, we are projecting to spend another $720 million that will see in 24 areas new well systems, expansion, and distribution networks to ensure that we reach that 100% access to potable water here in the hinterland and Region 9. But for those who are listening, for the very track A, or you say Pope Bridge, in 2 weeks' time, in fact, we have really drilled the well. They're developing it because it's in the final stage. In 2 weeks' time, we are expecting to connect, maximum 2 weeks, I would say, to connect that new well to the distribution system there for those persons that have already been allocated to commence receiving water to the households. And so similarly, where required for further expansion, we will continue to do this as quickly as possible. I want to say to you, therefore, that with all of these development and transformation that are happening, yesterday, for example, I was all the way up in the mountain, in fact, all the way up to Young Paru. Because of my many years in the hinterland, they tried to deter me from continuing. But because of my many years in the hinterland, and I hope some of the staff that is with me now is going to listen to this, I was able to make a determination because of the level of rainfall if I should continue or not. But it is a pleasing sight going on that road network that takes you up, connect you to Region 8, to see in the villages, whether it's the Piru, whether it's Young Paru, whether it's Rukumutu, whether it's Karasabai, and all the areas across Region 9, every area has seen commencing concrete road in your community, in the villages, as part of the transformation to ensure that you have similar services that are happening elsewhere. So the massive development that is taking place will therefore ensure that the connection between villages and the detachment whenever there's a little rainfall, because with all of that also comes massive investment in bridges, that no longer will be a hindrance, whereby, as a result, when we say when the rain set up, you already have flood. Your government is working to ensure that not only upliftment in the social services, government services, and access to services, but also that your communities, together with the grants, whether it's LCDS, presidential grants, capital grants from the Ministry of Armed Affairs, that communities together can be uplifted as quickly as possible, because no longer are communities asking for ATVs. We're asking for independent vehicles. When in some cases back in the days, you're asking for one vehicle for the village. Now every village has a vehicle. You're now asking an independent vehicle for just for education and one for health. That's okay, because of the People's Progressive Party civic investment in the hinterland. As a result, you can therefore have an upward request of your needs, so that changes from what you used to ask in the past. In advance, I want to say to you, that because very shortly you will have Easter and you will have your annual rodeo activities that many persons travel from the villages come to. So I want to say to you, please enjoy, but be careful. And I also want to encourage what I'm seeing in the villages, because I already see some driving, and hopefully the officers are hearing me, in the villages themselves because of the better road. But please, we have to remember these are community roads. And that's the other problem you're faced with now. When you don't have the road, it's one problem. Now you have it, is another issue. But we have to also take our time because we want everyone to be safe. So please enjoy your Easter. It's a pleasure to join you here today on this another initiative of your People's Progressive Party civic government under President Mohammed Irfan Ali, who has committed to you, and we will further commit to you that we will continue to work in the housing sector, to ensure that every Guyanese, eligible Guyanese, has that opportunity for home ownership, for their own home. And so similarly, the work will continue. I could save my last remark for the hard-working staff of Central Housing and Planning Authority. As much that we are working to finish tonight, so I hope you're hearing me, working to finish. There is no one expected to be turned away. So once the lots are available, working to finish. When they travel back tomorrow, they are also going back to the office because they'll be involved in prepping or preparing for another dream realized on the coastline next Friday. So the work never stops because we are committed, as I said, in a timeline that we want to complete these activities. Because you know what? There's a certain gentleman I saw posted yesterday, I think. And you know what that person said? Only because elections, you're going to the regions. You heard that? Well, you may start from the top. You have been seeing this region has been receiving visit by no less a person than who? The president. And goes to the communities even overnight and spend time. And it is not, we didn't announce an election yet. We're in election year, but we didn't announce election yet. So much less if it was an election. So it doesn't matter if the rain is set up. It doesn't matter if it's prolonged dry period. Your government has been working with the communities, and there are different tiers of governments. When you don't see the president, you will see the ministers. When you don't see the ministers, you see the leadership of your region. We all represent different tiers of governance. Therefore, you must maximize on these engagements because we want to also use them to be able to understand some of the challenges or issues that are still confronting you so that we can put together recommendations to have them addressed. And similarly, when it becomes the silly season later in the year, you will have all kind of persons, characters, etc. coming to your villages. And they will even be promising you the sun, the moon, the star. And they will say to you, maybe, we'll give you everything that you ask. But you know the reality of life is that development comes and happens in stages. The only difference is the People's Progressive Party civic government has been working to ensure that the stages happen quickly and not tomorrow, but happen today, as what will happen in the next few minutes. Congratulations to all of you who are here, the potential beneficiaries. Have a God bless day. The staff will work with you throughout the day to ensure that you are attended to. Please be patient. Please follow the guidelines that are being provided because you also will be able to, even if you have issues, we have different desks that have been set up. So we brought other arms of the agency. So you have, for example, the legal department. I want to recognize the community development for some of the persons within the older areas that still have issues. You can still go to them. And then the surveyors are at the back. When you have been allotted, when you have received your lot, and you've pulled your number and you've gotten your lot, maximize on their presence because you can see on the plan where your lot fall. But let me make this comment now. The number that you'll be given, is what is called the temporary number. The reason being is because the numbers that have been allotted there is based on the design of the area. When we complete with the infrastructure. We do what is called the recorded plan. And so the number that is recorded on the recorded plan, that's your permanent number. And that's the number is reflected when you will be called to sign your agreement of sale. So it's not that anyone is moving you. You're getting your same lot. But the number changes because we have to use a mechanism in which to recognize where you are being allocated. So do not follow blindly as the statement is being made by the former minister. Well, who should have known better, Annette Ferguson? Or maybe she should know better because they had their tenure in office, so they don't know much about housing. And has been saying to people that we have been taking back lots, we have been moving persons. That is not so. I've just outlined to you. And in fact, I saw a silly letter a couple days ago. I'll address it in detail at the next Dream Realize activities. But you can be rest assured, all our activities and program is done in the open, and you have transparency and accountability. And that is why we use the lottery system, which means you're putting your hand, you don't know your lot, you don't know your neighbor. So you can't ask for to be next to any family member. Don't ask for any street lot at the corner. Right? That's the next one people ask for. That you have to put your hand, and that's the number you're pulled. Am I clear? Thank you very much, and enjoy.
Getting your land this morning. So listen out for your name and you will be called, and I will explain the process as we go by. So sorry for those. So for those person who has the number 1 to 15, we would ask you to just step forward. So check your numbers that you were given this morning. Hmm. 200? 200. Okay, 200 to 215. For those person who has number 200 to 215, you could step forward. The blue chits. Just now. No, the blue chits. 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 212, 213, 214, and 215, the blue chits. So for those of you who will be receiving your lot this morning, you will be allocated. You'll be called to select your lot numbers or your parcel numbers. You'll receive an allocation letter. You would go to make your payments in the office, make a copy of the receipt and return. You'll receive a voucher. Make your payments in the office, come back outside here. You can go to receive your allocation letter, and then you check with the surveys department. For those 15 persons that here, so I would ask these 3 persons to get yourself ready. The first person, Mr. Gary and Lydia Pearl Henry. So Mr. Gary Henry has selected Lot 368, Culver City, Lethem. Mr. Wesley Nascimento. Congratulations, Mr. Nascimento. You've selected Lot 388, New Culver City Housing Scheme. Ms. Zalika Griffith. Ms. Zalika Griffith. Congratulations, Ms. Griffith. You've selected Lot 334, New Culver City Development. I would now invite the regional chairman. Ms. Shania Charles, please come to the front. Hello. Ms. Shania Charles, you've selected Lot 326, New Culver City Development. Mr. Elvis Manduk and Ms. Vanessa Manduk, please come to the front. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Manduk. You've selected 358 New Culver City Development. Thank you. I would now invite the Permanent Secretary. receive your parcel numbers, you would have selected your parcel numbers. You would go over there to receive your allocation letter, payment voucher. Where you go into the office, make your payments, get a copy of your receipt, and return to receive the issuing of your allocation letter. For those persons that would have received their lot numbers, please visit the allocation department to receive your payment vouchers.